Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavat overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuro Anvilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। So welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam overview class. So we are discussing from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and yesterday we saw how Parikshit Maharaj, after hearing the description of the sons of Swayambhuva Manu and the progeny of the daughters of Daksha, then Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami that I also want to hear about other Manus, all the other Manus which have appeared, and there are other Manus who will appear in the future also. So he said, I want to hear about all of them. So then we saw that in the first chapter, Shukdev Goswami described the first four Manus, and then in the end of that description, he said that in the reign of fourth Manu, the Amsha avatar, and we saw that in every Manvantar, there are six personalities who appear. Manu, who is the controller, who is the king of that Manvantara, the various Devatas, the sages, the king of heaven, Indra, and Amshavataras. So these six personalities, they are all considered to be the expansions of the Supreme Lord. They are partial expansions of the Supreme Lord himself. So in the fourth Manvantara, Supreme Lord appeared as the son of Harini and Harimedha in the reign of Tamasa Manu, and he saved Gajendra. So when Parikshit Maharaj he heard this, he became very, very inquisitive to know about Gajendra. And he says that, please tell me about this very beautiful pastime of the Lord. Badarayana etatte shrotum ichhamahe vayam harir yatha gajapatim graha grastam amumuchat. So please tell me about this wonderful pastime which happened, in which Lord saved this Gajendra. And then he glorified Harikatha, that Harikatha is Dhanya, Swastyainam, and Shubham. Dhanya means it is glorious, all auspicious, all good. So please tell me about that. So now in the second chapter, which is entitled the Gajendra, the elephant Gajendra's crisis, Shukdev Goswami becomes very happy hearing the question of Parikshit Maharaj, and he starts the description of the place where this pastime happened. So it describes the beauty of Trikut mountain. So this Trikut mountain is a place where this pastime of Gajendra Moksha happened. So it describes that this Trikuta, it is a very high and very wide mountain. The height, the width, and the breadth of this Trikuta mountain is 10,000 yojanas. And this Trikut mountain is surrounded by an ocean of milk. And why it is called Trikuta? Because it has three principal tops. The three principal peaks of this Trikut mountain are made of iron, silver, and gold. And that is the beauty of this Trikuta mountain. And the peaks of this Trikuta, it is full of all the various wonderful jewels, and there are nice creepers, herbs, trees, And there are various waterfalls which are decorating the mountains of this Trikuta. And very interesting feature which occurs there is at the foot of these hills, there is the milk ocean which is there. The waves of that milk, washes away the dust which is there at the foot of this mountain, and it creates beautiful emeralds. So that is a glorious, that is a very beautiful description of the Trikuta mountain. And then what happens at those Trikuta mountains? The denizens of the heavenly planets, they come to this Trikuta mountain and they enjoy their wonderful pastimes there. The caves, they are always full of the denizens of heaven, and when they are enjoying their with their consorts, by hearing this very resounding vibration, even the lions, they roar out of pride and envy, because they think that this is our place, how they are staying there. And then the valleys of this Trikut mountain is filled with so many types of animals and the birds, sweet chirping birds, various gardens are there. And then the lakes, there are very beautiful lakes in this Trikuta. These lakes are filled with crystal clear water. And the beaches of these lakes are covered with gems. And heavenly damsels, they come and they take bath in these lakes. And because heavenly damsels, they have a very fragrant body. So when they take bath in these lakes, the lakes become fragrant. And the breezes which passes over this lake, it also becomes fragrant. So Prabhupada here describes that, just see that in this planetary systems, higher planetary systems, there are not only different types of humans, but there are animals also, birds also. And that's why hearing all this creation, we should know how wonderful creation is. Keshava Tua Jagat Vichitra. And there is a whole National Geographic channel just talking about the variety of the life in this planet Earth. So what to speak of the variety which is there in the higher planetary systems. And then Shukdev Goswami says that, in this Trikut mountain, there is a garden. There is a garden which is called Ritumat garden. What happens there in the Ritumat garden? In this Ritumat garden, which is belonging to a great devotee, Varuna Dev. So this is a sporting place of all the devatas. All the devatas, just like we have heard about Nandan Kanan garden. This is also another garden, Ritumat garden. There also the demigods, they come and they enjoy their life. This Ritumat garden is filled with various types of flower-bearing plants and trees and various fruit-bearing trees. Mandar, Parijata, Champaka, Pananas, and all the other types of plants are there. Very beautiful flowering plants are there. And then in this Ritumat garden, there is a lake. This lake is also very, very beautiful, amazing. It is always filled with wonderful flowers. Lotus, Kadamba, Kalahara, Utpal, and so on. Shukdev Goswami describes in great detail. And because there are so many beautiful flowers, the bees, they come and they drink the nectar of these trees, of these flowers. And also, it is full of chirping birds. Along with the flowering plants there are various types of birds also. Swans, chakravak, crane. And then also, when these birds, they play in the water of this garden, of this lake, because of the movement of these birds, the pollen from the lotuses which are growing in this pond, they make the entire place fragrant. There are various beautiful trees like Kadamba, Vetasa, Nalas, Nipas. So Prabhupada writes there, that there are various types of oceans in this universe. We have just the experience of the water, salt water ocean. There are other types of oceans also. And we have discussed in our Bhumandala, in the 5th canto, there are 7 different types of ocean. Ocean of milk, sweet water, honey, liquor, and there are various types of oceans. And these are just the creations of this material universe. And Prabhupada writes that, there are many wonders on the other planets, like 2 million types of trees. Prabhupada gives a figure also. 2 million different types of trees are there. So Bhagavatam it is not only describing the affairs of the spiritual world, but is also describing the affairs of the material universe. How gigantic, how cosmic this material creation is. Such a huge variegatedness. So if this material creation is so very filled with variegatedness, so then how can somebody say the spiritual world is void, no form, everything is impersonal? No, it is not possible. Urdhva moolam adashakam ashwatham prahuravyayam. Whatever is there in the spiritual world, we see a reflection in this material world. So therefore, because we have so many varieties in this material world, naturally, that is a reflection of the spiritual world also. Spiritual world is full of all the variegated types of jivas. So now, after describing the beauty of this Ritumat garden and Trikut mountain, this lake which is there in the garden, now Parikshit Maharaj says, Gajendra, who was the leader of the elephants, he was living in this forest of Trikuta mountain. Once, he was traveling, he was wandering around the lake of this Ritumat garden along with his female associates and his children. Gajendra, he was so very powerful. Just by, just by hearing the sound of this Gajendra, all the animals, they would flee in fear. He was so very powerful that when he would walk, he would trample upon all the trees, creepers, plants, whatever was coming in on the way, he was trampling everything. Simply by catching the scent of Gajendra's body, all the animals, including lions, everybody, lions, buffalo, bears, boars, everybody would start fleeing in fear. And because he was so very powerful and these animals, they had surrendered to him, many times they would move in the forest without fear, because they would know if Gajendra is moving in this forest, nobody can dare to create any trouble in this forest. So Prabhupada writes there, all the animals, they were practically controlled by this elephant, Gajendra, and they gave all the respect to Gajendra. Out of respect, they were not able to even stand in front of him. This Gajendra, he was always intoxicated. He was surrounded by many of the female elephants. He would always be drunk, intoxicated, and because of this intoxication, he was always in enjoyment mode. And when he would drink liquor, sometimes liquor would drip from his mouth. Honeybees, they would drink the liquor which is dripping from the mouth of Gajendra, thinking that it is honey. As Gajendra was roaming around in this garden, he could smell the pollen of the lotuses which was there in this Ritumat lake. So catching the fragrance of this Ritumat lake, he was attracted by it and he arrived at the lake along with his associates. And then Gajendra, along with all of his female associates, started bathing in the lake. He was drinking its cold water because he was traveling for a long time, moving around, enjoying, so he was very thirsty. So he drank all the water and he was relieved of all the fatigue. This Gajendra, he was so very attached to his family. So Shukdeva Goswami describes what was the attachment of Gajendra. He says, Sapushkarennodhrit shikarambubhir nipaya yansam sapayan yathagrihi Grini karenu karamham durmado nachashta krichram kripano jamayaya. So in the 26th verse, Shukdeva Goswami describes the attachment of Gajendra. So Gajendra, he was so very attached to his family that when he entered the garden, entered the lake with his trunk, he started throwing water on all the associates, on all the female associates and the children, over all his family. He was sprinkling water. And then he was making them drink the water, bathing with them, just like a person who is completely attached to a household life. A person, just like a householder who is a grihamedhi, His only happiness is to keep the family, children and the wife happy. Atmajaya suta agar pashu dravin brandhu rajye. A grihamedhi means his consciousness is fixed in his family. He cannot think anything apart from his family life. So Gajendra, he was so very absorbed in his family that he was taking all the effort to make them very happy. And therefore, he was taking all the effort to throw water on all of them. And therefore, Prabhupada, Shukdev Goswami says that Nachasta Krichram Kripano Ajamayaya. He did not mind the hard labor in this endeavor. He was working very hard. Just like an ordinary householder works so very hard. Prabhupada writes, he gives Goswami gives many places the example of a ass or a camel working so very hard just for a little happiness, or chewing thorns, tasting its own blood, but he's thinking, I'm enjoying life. So that was the position of Gajendra. He was thinking, oh, I am so very happy enjoying life with my family. So now, having described the happy, comfortable and influential situation of Gajendra, now Shukdev Goswami describes an unexpected incident, calamity, which happened in the life of Gajendra. And that is the third chapter which begins. Sorry, not the third chapter. Few verses are remaining. Yeah. So as Gajendra, he was taking bath, a very strong crocodile, he attacked Gajendra. And he bit at the leg of Gajendra. Gajendra, although he was so very powerful, he tried his best to come out of the clutches of this crocodile. But this danger, it was sent by providence. Yadrichaya, Deva Chodito Yadrichaya. This calamity had come by the influence of the Supreme Lord, Deva Chodita and Yadrichaya. Gajendra was not planning, he was not ready for it. It came on its own accord. Gajendra, when he saw that this crocodile has caught hold of my leg, he tried his best to come out of it. And seeing this position, very miserable position of Gajendra, all the wives and the children of Gajendra, they started crying. They became completely distressed. They wanted to help Gajendra, but they could not do anything. They were just standing on the bank of this lake, crying, very, very distressed. Gajendra, he was so very powerful. He tried his best to, make him escape this crocodile. Intense fight ensued, and it went on for 1,000 years. A huge, long fight. Seeing this fight, even Devatas, they were amazed that how this Gajendra, who is so very powerful, that he's fighting with this elephant for 1,000 years. Gajendra, he was the animal of the land. Although he was so very powerful that all the animals, they would flee out of fear. But he was in his foreign position. He was not in his natural position. He was in a foreign lands. That's why, because of fighting over a long period of time, his sensory power, his strength kept on decreasing. On the other hand, this crocodile, because he was in his natural condition, his strength, his sensory power kept on increasing. Because crocodile is a water animal. Prabhupada writes a very wonderful purport here. He says, practicing process of Krishna consciousness is like fighting the crocodile of Maya. If we are not in our natural position, if we are not firmly situated in this process of Krishna consciousness, if we have our one leg in the Krishna consciousness path, other leg on the sense enjoyment, we will not be able to win this war. We will not be able to fight vigorously. If we are in a position in which our enthusiasm, our strength, our determination goes down, we'll not be able to fight properly. So therefore, only thing we have to do is we have to control our senses. That is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. How we control our senses. Tar madhye jihvati. That's why amongst all the senses, the tongue is the most difficult one to control. Tongue has two functions, speaking and tasting. So therefore, the process of bhakti begins with tongue. Sevonmukhehi jihvadau savameva spratyadaha. So therefore, the best way to control the senses, the best way of the sense control is to avoid the situations which require sense control. We know that if I go into this state, it will be very difficult for me to come out. We know that if I am browsing and if by chance I see something wrong, it will be difficult for me to control my mind and senses. If I know that if I go to this place, I'll be troubled. I'll be put in a difficult situation. If I go with this friend of mine, I will not be able to practice my bhakti properly. So we have to be in a place where it is least, it requires least sense control. That is the best way to do sense control. The best way to do sense control is to avoid situations which require sense control. That's why Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, Yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvashah indriyan indriyarthebhyas tasya pragya pratishtita. Just like tortoise, brings all its limb inside his shell when he's faced with danger. A Krishna conscious person, when he's faced with some dangerous situation, brings all his senses. He controls, withdraws all his senses. When he's in the outside world, does not explore the sense objects. When he is with devotees, he uses all his senses. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo vacham sivaikuntha gunanu varnane karau harer mandir marjanadishu. So he says, how Amrish Maharaj engaged all his senses. So we have to keep struggling, if we want to stay in Krishna consciousness. Kab tak struggle karna hai? Just like this Gajendra, struggling for 1,000 years, but still not able to win the war. In our fight with, this material energy, we also think sometimes, मैं नहीं जीत पाऊंगा, I'll not be able to win this war against this crocodile of Maya. Shaknoti haiva yashodom praksharira vimokshanat काम क्रोधोद्भवम वेगम sayukta sa sukhi naraha. कब तक करना है? Till when do we have to fight this battle? Prak sharir vimokshanat. Till the last breath of our life we have to struggle. And if a devotee who is working, struggling in this way, then sayukta sa sukhi naraha. We will experience the peace of our heart. Externally, we may be in a very, very difficult situation, but internally, we'll experience a peace of heart. Many times we feel so very desperate. So many anarthas are there. Decades of practice I have done, but still the anarthas are the same. Am I progressing in Krishna consciousness? These thoughts come because we don't know how much anarthas we have. We have a mountains of sin and we are taking a broom to clean all these anarthas. And also that broom we are not keeping properly. So our position is like a sparrow, trying to dry the entire ocean. What is the hope for that sparrow? Only hope is when Garuda comes. Our only hope is when Krishna, he sees the hard work and endeavor of a devotee. We can see now this Damodar month is going on. Yashoda Maya, she was working so very hard. Swamatu swenna gatraya vistrishta kavarasraja drishtva parishramam krishnam kripaya sit swabandhane. Mother Yashoda, she was working so very hard from afternoon till evening. She was trying to bind Krishna. Her whole body in the month of November, which is very cold season, winter season, It is not so easy to get sweat in winter season. Somatu Swinnagatraya, the whole body of Mother Yashoda was covered with sweat. Her hairs were all stray. The flowers on the head of Mother Yashoda were falling. Drishtva Parishramam Krishnam, when Krishna he saw the hard work of Mother Yashoda, Kripaya Sit Swabandhane, he agreed to be bound up. So this is a wonderful story which tells us how we have to struggle so very hard in Krishna consciousness. If you're not struggling hard, if you're not sweating, if you're thinking, okay, life is going on good, comfortable, mera bhakti aaram se chal raha hai, that means there is some problem. If you are thinking my bhakti is going on very smooth, sab aaram se maje mein chal raha hai, that means there is some problem. It should not happen like this. We should increase our devotional service so that we are in a continuous stretch zone, not in the stressful zone, but stretch zone. That's why Prabhupada is writing, our position is like a person who is fighting the war with a crocodile of Maya. So therefore Prabhupada writes, wherever you are, just continue your struggles. Sthane sthita shrutigatam tanuman manobhi. Stay wherever you are. No need to change your position. Just focus your mind on Krishna. Kripa kara prabhu moraya toma sange sohitena pari tomar vishaya tarange. Kurma Brahman, he says, oh my Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please take me with you. I am not able to tolerate this vishaya taranga. Continuously my mind is engaged in sense gratification. Prabhu kahe ichhe baat kabhu na kahiba grihe rahi Krishna naam nirantara laiba. Mahaprabhu says, please do not speak like this. Stay at your home and continuously try to chant the names of the Lord. Kabuna badhibe tomar vishaya taranga punarapi aithani pabe mora sanga. If you're working in this way, kabuna badhibe tomar vishaya taranga. The sense enjoyment will not trouble you. You will not be bound in sense gratification. And very soon you will attain me. So this is what is happening. And then, after, when Gajendra is in this position, after struggling for 1,000 years, now Gajendra, he starts contemplating. He became completely helpless. He started thinking now what to do. He was thinking now I'm going to be killed. Thought for a long time, introspected. And he came to the conclusion that I have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada writes there, such a decision is not possible by a grossly sinful person. Only a person who is Krishna conscious, who has some pious credits in his life or in the past life, he can think about Krishna. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrituna arjuna arto artarthi jigyasu jnani cha bharatarshava. They are sukritina. They have done some pious activity either in this life or in the last life. That is not an ordinary pious activity. That is bhaktyonmukhi sukriti. Bhaktyonmukhi sukriti means that sukriti which helps to keep one close to Krishna, bring one close to Krishna. Now, not seeing any other way, he started thinking, only Supreme Lord can help me. Namami me gyataya turam gajah kutam karinya prabhavanti mochitum grahena pashena vidhaturavrito apyaham chatam yami paramparayanam. Namam ime gyataya aturam janah. All my relatives, all my friends, they could not do anything to rescue me from this danger. Kutah karinya, my wives, what they can do? They are also standing at the shore just watching. They could not do anything to save me. Then, how can I think of anyone else? Grahena pashena vidhaturavrito. He says vidhatur. It is by the will of providence I have come under this condition. Therefore, I seek shelter. Api aham chatam yami paramparayanam. I'll take shelter of that Supreme Lord now. So Prabhupada writes, this verse explains the intelligence of Gajendra. Chakravarti Thakur writes in his purport. This verse describes the intelligence of Gajendra. He starts thinking that these elephants, they cannot free me, what to speak of my wives, because now I am caught in this noose of fate. I am in the form of an elephant. I am been caught up, by this crocodile. In this situation, I'll surrender to that Supreme Lord. So this material world, it is also a place of troubles at every step. Padam padam yat vipadam. Anything can come anytime. Prabhupada would say always, Parikshit Maharaj, he had 7 days notice. He was sure that he will not die in 7 days. After 7 days, he will die. Prabhupada would say many times, none of us have even assurance that we'll live for next minute. And even after hearing it for many times, we don't take it seriously. It should not make us continuously fearful and anxious, but it should create a healthy fear that I have to live my life in such a way that I may become Krishna conscious. I may remember Krishna at the time of death. So therefore now, Gajendra, he says, whom to surrender unto now? Yakashchanesho balinontakoragat prachanda vegat abhibhavato bhrisham bhitam prapannam paripati yadbhayan mrityu pradhavatyaranam tamimahi. He says, that Supreme Lord, Yakashchanesho, that Supreme Lord who is not known to everyone. Even time is very, very fearful of the Supreme Lord. Prachanda vegad abhidhavato bhrisham. The great serpent of time is so very powerful, endlessly chases everyone, ready to swallow everyone. Bhitam prapannam. But if somebody out of fear of the time surrenders to that Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord gives him all the protection. Mrityu pradhavatyaranam tamimahi. Even death runs away in fear from the Supreme Lord. So therefore, I will take shelter of that Supreme Lord now. Madbhayat vati vatoyam suryastapati madbhayat varshat indro dhatyagni mrityuscharati madbhayat. So out of fear of Lord, even sun is rising, even moon is giving light, even death is working. So therefore, in this situation, Gajendra now is seeking shelter of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. One may question that, okay, all the living entities are dying that we can see, but devotees are also dying. Why it is said that if you surrender to Krishna, one becomes free from the fear of death? Prabhupada writes, yes, devotees also must give up their body, but by the dint of surrender unto the Supreme Lord, they are not having the fear of taking birth again. The devotees will never receive a material body again in their next life. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti suarjuna. So that is what Prabhupada writes there. A devotee of the Lord, he is completely free from all the material bondage. Andhasya merita vivek mahadhanasya chaurai prabho balibirindriya namadheyah mohandakupakuhare vinipatitasya devesh dehi kripanasya karavalambam. Because devotee, he understands that I have fallen in this deep, dark well of material existence. My senses, they have stolen away my discrimination. I have fallen in this deep, dark well of material existence. And therefore, Devesh Dehi Kripanasya Karavalambam, oh my Lord, I am surrendering unto you now. Please take me out of this material existence. So that is understanding of a devotee. And then thinking like this, in the 3rd chapter, Gajendra, he starts offering his prayers. So Shukdev Goswami says, Evam vyavasito buddhya samadhaya manoridi Jajapa paramam japyam pragjanma anusikshitam. Very wonderful verse, Shukdev Goswami speaking. Evam vyavasito buddhya samadhaya manoriti. Gajendra, he then fixed his mind on that Supreme Lord with his perfect intelligence, samadhaya manoriti, with buddhya, vyavasito buddhya. With his perfect intelligence, he fixed his mind on the Supreme Lord. And what did he do? Jajapa paramam japyam. Very interesting. He chanted a mantra, prak janma anusikshitam, which he had remembered, which he had learned in his past life. So that is the glory of Krishna consciousness. By Krishna's grace, any little amount of devotional service which is done never goes waste. So therefore, even if somebody practices Krishna consciousness for a little amount of time, he will not have any loss. Neha vikramanashosti. And 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita describes that if somebody falls down after the practice of this Ashtanga Yoga or Krishna consciousness, he gets a chance to take birth either in the family of a very wealthy person or a Brahmana or in the family of devotees. Even if by chance a person falls down, there is no loss for a devotee. Because Krishna does not allow the devotee to forget him. A devotee can never forget Krishna. Even if he leaves Krishna consciousness for some time, he will continuously remember the wonderful experiences which he had when he was with devotees. Navai janoja tu kathanchana brajen mukund sevyanyavadanga samsritim smarana mukundangri upagohanam puna vihatumichen narasagraho jana. A devotee is always haunted by the ghost of rasagraha. That is a wonderful way, Chakravarti Thakur explains. Rasagraha. He is haunted by the ghost. Even if he wants to leave that, he will not be able to leave Krishna consciousness. He will always remember the beautiful experiences when he was with the devotees. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, every devotee should practice this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra perfectly, because that is the only thing which is going to help us. At the time of death, none of our intelligence, none of our qualifications, none of our strength, none of our influence, relatives, nobody is going to help us. Only the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. As it is said, death is the test of our taste. How much we have developed the taste for Krishna consciousness, it will be tested at the time of death. So therefore, we have to put our intense efforts in, developing a taste for chanting. Because if we can perfect this one thing, then there is no loss. Just like Bharat Maharaj, we have discussed in the, 5th canto also. Although he became deer, he remembered his past life as a king. So now, Prag Janma Anusikshitam, Gajendra, he remembered the mantra which he had heard in the past life. And then now he starts offering beautiful, beautiful prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yadedachidatmakam Purushayadi Bijaya Pareshaya Bhidhimahi. So these prayers of Gajendra, they are very, very famous prayers. These are the very famous prayers in the scriptures. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai, I offer my obeisances unto that Supreme Lord. Yatetat Chidatmakam, he makes the universe and is conscious of everything. Purushaya Adi Bijaya, he is the supreme root cause of everything, he is the supreme person. Pareshaya Bhidhimahi, he is worshipable for everyone. Therefore, I meditate on that Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada writes there, when one awakens to Krishna consciousness, one's body is no longer material. It becomes spiritual. Gajendra now he is becoming Krishna conscious. A devotee who is engaging in the service of the Lord is thinking of him always. He does not have to take birth again. He is never considered to have a material body. Even while living in the body, he is a liberated soul. And Prabhupada writes there, one should never see a devotee from the material point of view, whoever he may be. Even if the person, a devotee, is born in a family of a low class person or suffering so many problems, one should never see a devotee from physical point of view. Similarly, one should not see the spiritual master as an ordinary person. One should not see the deities of the Lord as stone. So that is a wonderful process of bhakti. Then he says, Yasmin idam yataschedam yenedam yaidam swayam yosmat parasmat cha parastam prapadye swayam bhuvam. He says, Yasmin idam yatascha idam. In him, this entire universe rests. From him, this universe arises. In him, this universe rests. Yene damya idam swayam. The universe rests means at the time of annihilation. Everything goes back in the body of Mahavishnu. At the time of creation, everything comes out from the body of Mahavishnu. Yene damya idam swayam. And by him, this whole entire universe is created. Actually, he himself is this universe. We discussed in the second canto and third canto that all the ingredients of the universe, they are coming from the body of Lord Mahavishnu only. Dravya kala cha karmascha svabhavo jiva eva cha vasudeva paro brahman nachanyo artho asti tattvataha. All the ingredients of the universe, they are coming from Supreme Lord only. Yosmat parasmat cha para. Yet, although from him all this universe is coming, one should not think that he is a part of this universe. No. He is different from this entire creation. He is spiritual. He is never bound in this material creation. Tam prapadye swayam bhuvam. I offer my obeisances. I surrender to that Supreme Lord who is self-sufficient. So therefore, Lord is the basis of everything. Maya tadamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am pervading in this entire universe. Sarva karana karanam. He is the supreme cause of everything. And then, Prabhupada gives the analogy of a pot and the earth. He says that earth is everything, The place where the pot rests, the body of the potter is also earth. The wheel of the potter is also earth. And the ingredients for making the pot is also earth, the clay. Similarly, Lord is everything. Universe exists in the Lord, coming from the body of the Lord, made by the Lord. Universe is the Lord. The material creation, the Virat Rupa is Lord's material form. Everything is coming from Lord only. And therefore, after this, he says, Oh my Lord, you are supreme energetic. Yasvatmanidam nijamaya yarpitam kvachit vibhatam kvachatattarohitam aviddadrik sakshubhayam tadikshate sa atmamulo vatumam paratparaha. Oh my Lord, by extending your own energy, you are making this universe visible. This universe is coming out from your bodily pores. You are making the universe visible, and sometimes you are making it invisible. The creation and destruction is happening by your willpower. Aviddadrik sakshi ubhayam tadikshate. Aviddadrik sakshi. He is the supreme sakshi, witness of everything. He is observing both the creation. Ubhayam tadikshate. Ubhaya means both. He is observing both the creation and destruction. Sa atma mulo vatumam paratparaha. He is the supreme independent cause of everything. May that Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to everything, protect me. That's how Supreme Lord is described as supreme independent entity. Bhagavatam compares the independence of the Lord with the independence of the spider. Spider creates the web, maintains the web for some time, and winds up the web also. Similarly, Supreme Lord, who is a supreme creator, and the raw material for making the web is coming from spider only. Spider is creating its own saliva, not depending on anything else. Similarly, Supreme Lord is supremely independent. And then he says that Supreme Lord is transcendental to the universal darkness. Kalena panchatvam iteshu kritsnasho lokeshu paleshu cha sarvahetushu tamastadasid gahanam gabhiram yastasya pare abhivirajate vibuhu. In due course of time, Kalena, when everything in the universe will be destroyed, lokeshu paleshu cha sarvahetushu, including the planets of the devatas, everything will be destroyed in due course of time. The maintainers, the demigods, the planets, everybody will be destroyed. The cause and effect, everything will be destroyed. Tamastadasid gahanam gabhiram. And then there exists an intense dark creation. There is intense darkness in the creation. But yastasya pare abhivirajate vibuhu. Although there is a darkness in this creation, oh my Lord, you are above this darkness. You are completely unaffected by all this darkness. Therefore, I offer my obeisances. I take that Supreme Lord's shelter. Then he says, Supreme Lord is so very inconceivable. It is not so easy to understand him. Nayasya deva rishaya padam vidur janto punah ko arhati gantumiritum yatha natasya kritibhir vicheshtato duratyanu kramanas samavatu. Nayasya deva rishaya padam vidu. Nobody can know that Supreme Lord. Not even devatas, not even rishis. Nobody can know. Jantu punako, then how I will understand? How an insignificant animal like me can understand the position of that Supreme Lord? Yatha natasya kritibhir vicheshtato, just like an artist orchestrates and performs on the stage in different types of dresses. Similarly, you are also working in so many different ways. Duratyayano kramanas samavatu. May that Supreme Lord, who is very inconceivable, protect me. How Lord acts is inconceivable by everybody. Muhyanti yat surayah. Even devatas, they are bewildered. Maya javanika channam agya dhokshajam avyayam. Nalakshase moodadrisha nato natya dharo yatha. Just like Kunti Maharani is praying that, oh my Lord, you have covered yourself by your yogamaya potency. Those who are foolish, they cannot understand you. So only a person who is there following in the footsteps of bona fide spiritual teachers, they can have some idea. Otherwise, nobody can understand you, oh my Lord. So now somebody may think that, okay, the Lord is invisible to all people. How to understand him? Who can see the Lord? So then, Gajendra, he says, what is the qualification to see the Lord? Didrikshavo yasya padam sumangalam vimukta sangha munayah susadhavah charantya loka vratamavranam vane bhutatma bhuta surida same gatihi. Didrikshavo yasya padam. Those who desire to see that Supreme Lord, the supremely auspicious lotus feet, padam sumangalam. Those who want to see the supremely auspicious lotus feet of the Lord, who can see vimukta sangha munaya susadhava. First is they should be devoid of all the material qualification. Vimukta sangha. They should be devoid of all the material qualification. Munaya susadhava. Secondly, they should be very elevated in their consciousness. They should be great sages. Sages does not mean one has to renounce. One should be sage in his consciousness. And then what they should do? Charantya loka vratamavranam vane. They flawlessly practice this process of devotional service. In whichever ashram they may be, brahmachari, grihastha, vanprastha and sannyas, the place does not matter. Ashram does not matter. how you are rendering devotional service, that determines our advancement in Krishna consciousness. How we'll come close to Krishna will be decided by our dedication in this path of Krishna consciousness. Bhutatma bhuta surida same gatihi. And then the fifth qualification of these devotees are they are seeing everybody with equal vision. Bhutatma bhuta surida. May that Supreme Lord be my ultimate goal. So devotees, Prabhupada in the purport focuses on this last line, Bhutatma Bhuta Surida Samegatihi. Devotees of the Lord, they are interested in welfare of everyone. So now somebody may ask, okay, to attain the Lord, one must have equal vision, right? Without developing a equal vision, one cannot attain the Lord. Then how does Gajendra expect that, Lord will kill crocodile and protect him? Is it not inequality? Because everybody is a living entity, sons of God. How he'll be partial? Then Gajendra says, न विद्यते यस्य च जन्म कर्म वा न नाम रूपे गुणदोष एव वा तथापि लोकाप्यय संभवायया स्वमायया तान्यनुकालमृच्छति. Lord does not have material vision. न विद्यते यस्य च जन्म कर्म वा. The Lord has no material birth. No activities of the Lord are material. Nanama rupe gunadosha eva va. The name, form, activities, qualities of the Lord, they are without any faults. He is beyond this material equality or inequality. He does not see based on our material bodies. Tathapi lokapya sambhavayaya. Although he is completely detached, but still he is engaging in this creation and destruction. He himself takes the form of Brahma or Shiva many times. So therefore, I surrender unto that Supreme Lord. Tasmai nama pareshaya brahmane nanta shaktaye arupaya ururupaya nama asharya karmane. He says, therefore, I offer my respects to that Supreme Transcendental Lord. Brahmane ananta shaktaye. He is Supreme Brahman, full of all the inconceivable, unlimited potencies. Arupaya, ururupaya. Very interesting word Gajendra is using. He has no form, he has many forms. So this looks very contradictory. No form, arupaya, he has many forms. He is ururupaya. No form means he does not have any material form. Ururupaya means he has many unlimited spiritual forms. Nama asharya karmane. The actions of the Lord, they are amazing, wonderful. I offer my respects to him. So Supreme Lord is completely inconceivable. He has inconceivable potencies. In Ishopanishad it is described how Supreme Lord is very near also, far away also. He walks, he does not walk. He sees, he does not see. He is near, he is very far. तदेजति तन्नयजति तद्दूरे तदवन्तिके तदन्तरस्य सर्वस्य तदु सर्वस्यास्य बाह्यतः. He is inside everyone, he is outside everyone also. That is the Virodha Bhanjika Shakti of the Lord. Reconciles all the contradictions. So now, after this, Gajendra, he says, that Supreme Lord, he appears as the super soul in everyone's heart. Nama Atma Pradipaya Sakshine Paramatmane Namo Girama Viduraya Manasas Chetasamapi. I offer my obeisances to that Supreme Lord who is Sakshine, who is a supreme witness of all the activities of the living entities. Paramatmane, he is a Paramatma in everyone's heart. Namo Girama Viduraya Manasas Chetasamapi. He cannot be reached by our mind, by our words, by our consciousness. He is not perceivable. He cannot be reached by any of these faculties. I offer my respects to that Supreme Lord. And then he says, who can know him? Only by the practice of bhakti, Lord appears. Satvena pratilabhyaya naishkarmyena vipashchita namah kaivalyanathaya nirvana sukha samvide. Satvena pratilabhyaya. The Lord is attained by the devotee who acts in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. A devotee who is rendering devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, he can understand him. He can understand the Lord. Bhaktya mam abhijanati, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Only a devotee of the Lord can know him. No one else can know the Lord. Only a devotee has the whole and soul rights to know Lord. Because Krishna, he has the right to cover himself from the vision of non-devotees. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavrita. I cover myself with my potency and I don't reveal myself to people who are not my devotees. Bhaktya tvananya shakya ham evam vidhorjuna gyachum dastrum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Bhaktya tu ananya. Only by unalloyed devotional service one can know him. And then he says, oh my Lord, you have appeared in many forms in the past. Namashantaya ghoraya mudhaya gunadharmine nirvisheshaya samyaya namo jnana ghanaya cha. Oh my Lord, you are all pervading. You are all pervading Vasudev. Mudhaya. Sometimes you appear in the in the form of animal, Varaha. Sometimes you appear as a Ghora. Ghora means a very fierce form of Lord Narasimhadev. Mudhaya gunadharmine. You accept many of the material qualities, appears in many of the forms. Nirvisheshaya samyaya. Supreme Lord, he has no material qualities. He is equal to everyone. Namo jnana ghanaya cha. He samyaya means he is the Supreme Lord Buddha. Therefore, that Supreme Lord, Namo Jnana Ghanaya cha, I offer my obeisances, who is the complete reservoir of all the knowledge. And then he says that Supreme Lord, he is Supreme Father. From him everything is coming. Kshetragyaya namastubhyam sarvadhyakshaya sakshine purushayatma mulaya mula prakritaye namaha. I offer my obeisances to that Kshetragya. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that there are two types of Kshetragya. The one who knows just the body. We are also Kshetragya. We know what is happening in our body. We may not know what is happening in others' body. But Supreme Lord is Supreme Kshetragya. He knows what is happening in everyone's body. So therefore, Gajendra is praying Kshetragyaya namastubhyam. I offer my obeisances. He is Sarva Adhyakshaya. He is a supreme controller, supreme independent source of everything, controller of everything. Supreme superintendent. Sakshine, he is a supreme witness of everything. Purushaya Atma Mulaya. He is a supreme person and he is the source of all the jivas. Mula Prakritaye Namaha. You are the origin of this material universe. And then he says, oh my Lord, you are the supreme director. Under your direction, this entire creation is working. Sarvendriya gunadrashtre sarva pratyaya hetave asata chaya yoktaya sada bhasaya te namaha. You are the supreme director of this entire creation. You are the solution to all the doubts. If somebody has doubts, if he just prays to the Lord, Supreme Lord reveals the knowledge. Tadami buddhiyogam tam tesham evanukampartham aham agyana jam tamaha nashayami. Whoever surrenders to that Supreme Lord, he removes the doubts. He removes the ignorance which is there in the heart of a devotee. Sada bhasayate namaha. And therefore, I offer my obeisances to that Supreme Lord. Prabhupada writes, to paraphrase this verse, it can be said that the activities of the sensual activities are actually observed by you, O my Lord. Whatever we are doing, Supreme Lord is observing everything. Without your direction, O my Lord, nothing can happen in this world. You are the supreme observer. You are the supreme sanctioner of this entire creation. And then he says, my Lord, you are the supreme cause of everything. Very beautiful verse. He says, Namo namaste khilakaranaya nishkaranaya adbhutakaranaya सर्वागमाम्नाय महार्णवाय नमोपवर्गाय परायणाय Namo Namaste Akhil Karanaya. Oh my Lord, you are the supreme cause of everything. Nishkaranaya, you yourself have no cause. If somebody asks, okay, everything is coming from God, everything is created by God, who has created God? That is the definition of God, who has no creator. Sarva Karana Karanam. Nishkaranaya Adbhut Karanaya. You are the supreme wonderful cause of everything. You have no cause. He is a supreme, eternal, primeval Lord. Janmadyasya taha. Sarvagamamnaya maharnavaya. You are the source of the parampara system. Sarvagama amanaya. Very interesting word. You are the source of the parampara. From Supreme Lord, the parampara, the knowledge is coming. Supreme Lord gave this knowledge to four principal persons in the beginning of the creation. Lord Shiva, Lakshmi Devi, for Kumaras and Brahmaji. That's why he is Sarvagamamnaya Maharnavaya. All the rivers of knowledge, they merge in the Supreme Lord. And by learning all the Vedas, one is supposed to know him only. Namo Pavargaya Parayanaya. I offer my obeisances. You are the very form of liberation. Namo Apavargaya. Apavargaya means you are the form of liberation. And then he says, oh my Lord, you are the supreme enlightener of everyone. Gunarani channa chidoshma paya tachobha visforjitamanasaya naishkarmya bhavena vivarjitagama swayam prakashaya namaskaromi. Gunarani channa chidushma paya. Just like a fire in the arani wood, a fire in a wood is covered. There is a fire in the wood, but you cannot see it. Similarly, the knowledge about you, O my Lord, is covered by the material modes. Gunarani channa chidushmapaya. Channa, your knowledge is covered by the modes of material ignorance. Till the time we are there in this material modes, we cannot see the Lord. We cannot realize the Lord. Tachobha visvorjitamanasaya. Your mind remains indifferent to this entire creation. You are not disturbed by the modes of material nature. And therefore, Naishkarmya Bhavena Vivarjitagama, those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge, they are not subject to all the Vedic rituals. You reveal yourself to your pure devotees. You are the supreme enlightener, O my Lord. By your mercy, you have given this parampara system. By your mercy, you appear in the hearts of devotees. By your mercy, you make a person come close to him. That's why Krishna appeared as Bhagavatam. Krishna Sudhamo Pagate. When Krishna went to the spiritual world, Dharma and Jnana also went with him. Dharma Jnana Adi Visaha. This whole Kali Yuga was full of darkness. To give light in the dark age of this Kali Yuga, Supreme Lord appeared as Bhagavatam. Purana Arka Dhunoditaha. So it is our responsibility to understand. When we are hearing these very beautiful verses, sometimes it feels that it is so very technical, But actually, the Siddhanta is so very important to understand. If we are able to understand the Siddhanta, who is that Supreme Lord? Who is that glorious person whom I am worshipping? Then we can worship him, then we can hear about him. We will not be disturbed whatever we hear about him. So that's why Shukdev Goswami, he described all 9 cantos and then 29 chapters of the 10th canto before describing Rasa Leela. Because people, when they directly jump to this Rasa Leela, they don't understand who is this person who is doing this Rasa Leela. What is this Rasa Leela? They don't have the understanding. That's why Prabhupada, right in the beginning of the first canto of Bhagavatam, he writes, one should systematically go from the first canto and through all the 9 cantos and then reach the 10th canto. 10th canto is like the face of the Lord. You don't jump directly to take darshan of the face of the Lord. So all these beautiful verses, they help us to understand who is that Supreme Lord whom I am worshipping. So therefore, Gajendra, now he prays a very, very beautiful verse. He says, Supreme Lord is not only Supreme Director, not only Supreme Mercy Enlightener, he is supremely merciful also. Madrik prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaya muktaaya bhuri karunaya namolayaya swamshena sarvatanubhrin manasi pratita pratyagdrishe bhagavate brihate namaste. He says now, oh my Lord, Madrik prapanna pashupash vimokshanaya. I am in this pashupash. I am in this body of an animal. You are liberated. A person who is bound cannot liberate others. You are muktaya. You are free. You are not covered by any of the pash. I am bound in this material body, body of an animal, pashupash. You are muktaya. Somebody may say, okay, Lord may think, okay, I am muktaya, but why should I help you? You are bhuri karunaya. You are supremely compassionate. You are merciful, extremely merciful to everyone. Somebody may say, okay, Lord is merciful, but what if he is not feeling like, somebody may be able to do some work, but मन नहीं कर रहा है आज नहीं, आज मन नहीं कर रहा है जब करने का. I can chant, but I don't feel like chant today. What if Lord is supremely powerful, he is bhuri karuna also, but आज मन नहीं है, आज mood नहीं कर रहा है. ये devotee is, chanting, calling for me, but आज mood नहीं है. What if Lord has that mood? No, he says, you are namo alayaya. Alayaya means you are never lazy. If your devotee calls, you immediately come. Agre kurona mata pandavanam dushashanena ritavastra kesha Krishna tadakrosha dananyanatha govinda damodara madhaveti. Draupadi, when she called, Krishna appeared to protect her. You are alayaya. You are not lazy in protecting your devotees. Therefore, swamshena sarvatanubhrin manasi pratita. You are appearing in the hearts of every living entity as Paramatma. Pratyak trishe bhagavate brihate namaste. You are the supreme observer of all the activities of living entities. I surrender unto you. So till now, Gajendra was offering prayers to Paramatma. From this verse onwards, he starts offering prayers to the Bhagavan. And Chakravarti Thakur writes that, I offer respects to you who liberate surrendered animals like me from the noose, and I offer my respects to you who are liberated. You are muktaya, you are alayaya. So therefore, after describing this, he says, oh my Lord, a person who surrenders to you, he becomes liberated. But there are some obstacles in the worship of you. Atma atmajapta griha vritta janeshu saktai dushprapanaya gunasanga vivarjitaya muktatma viswaridaye paribhavitaya jnanatmane bhagavate nama ishwaraya. What are the obstacles in the path of devotional service? Atma japta griha vitta janeshu sakta. Body, wife, children, relatives, wealth, followers, all these are obstacles. If somebody is attached to these things, they are obstacles. Dushprapanaya gunasanga vivarjitaya. Dushprapanaya, it is not so easy to obtain you, my Lord. People are working so very hard. Millions of lifetimes one may work, but it is not easy to attain you. Dushprapanaya. You are guna vivarjitaya. You are not contaminated by the material modes. You are apapavidham. Ishopanishad describes you are apapavidham. You are shuddham and you are apapavidham. Prabhupada writes anaphylactic and prophylactic and antiseptic. Prophylaxis means he protects one from all the sinful activities. And apapavidham, he is never contaminated. Muktatmabhi swaridaye paribhavitaya. Muktatmabhi, the liberated souls, they always worship you in their hearts. Jnanatmane bhagavate nama ishwaraya. Therefore, I offer my obeisances unto you, who is the reservoir of all knowledge. He says, what is the motivated worship? Yad dharma kama artha vimukti kama bhajantamishtam gatimapnuvanti kimcha shishoratyapi deham avyayam karotu me dabradayo vimokshanam. He says, people who desire dharma, artha, kama and moksha, they are doing devotional service. They are doing your worship because of some motivation. They want liberation. They want sense gratification. They want money. This is a motivated worship. They desire all these things. Bhajantam ishtam. They are worshipping you, but they want all these things. Kimcha shishoratyapi deham advyayam. What to be said of other boons? The Lord can bestow even spiritual bodies, and why to ask for all these petty, insignificant boons? Karotu me dabradayo vimokshanam. May that Supreme Lord who liberate me from this danger, not from this danger of crocodile. Gajendra has now become a realized soul. He says, I don't want liberation from this crocodile now. Please liberate me from this material existence. That is a wonderful process of devotional service. Whoever surrenders to Krishna, Krishna purifies his material desires. Krishna kahe ama bhaje mage vishay sukh amrit chadi vish mage ei bada murkh ami vigye murkh vishay ke na diba swacharnamrit diya vishay bhulaiva. If a devotee is worshipping the Lord out of some material desires, Krishna says he is foolish. Ami vigyai murkha, he is foolish, I am intelligent. I will not give him sense gratification. I will give him my own lotus feet. I will liberate him from this body of birth and death, cycle of birth and death. Karotu me dabradayo vimokshanam. That's what he's asking. Please give me liberation from this samsara. And then he says, that's why. What is unmotivated worship? Again, very beautiful verse he's speaking. Ekantino yasya na kanchanartham vanchanti evai bhagavat prapannaha atyadbhutam taccharitam sumangalam gayantyananda samudra magnaha. He says, pure devotees who are ekantina. Ekanti means pure devotees. Na kanchanartham, they don't desire any sense object. They do not desire anything material in this world. Vanchanti evai bhagavat prapanna, they are completely surrendered to you, O my Lord. They do not want anything of this world. And you know what is the result of surrender to that Supreme Lord? Atyadbhutam charitam sumangalam. The pastimes of the Lord, they are amazing. Inconceivable pastimes of the Lord he is performing. And whoever engages his mind, intelligence, consciousness in hearing about these pastimes, gayantyananda samudra magnaha, they are always swimming in this ocean of bliss. They are in bhakti ras amrit sindhu. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that I praise the Lord whose devotees do not desire any other object. The devotees of the Lord, they have no other desire other than serving the Lord. Then what do they desire? They desire only service unto you. A devotee may be very rich, very opulent, but with his money, with his wealth, with his power, with his influence, he is only engaged in serving the Supreme Lord. Anya abhilashita shunyam. He has no desires other than serving that Supreme Lord. Prabhupada writes, sometimes when there is no alternative, a pure devotee prays for some benediction. Sometimes pure devotees, they also pray. But a pure devotee also makes such prayer with great regret. Just like Gajendra. He is now liberated. He is a pure devotee. He is making a prayer with a regret. And then he says, oh my Lord, you are the supreme source of everything. Tamaksharam brahma param paresham abhyaktam adhyatmika yoga gamyam atindriyam sukshmamivati duram anantamadhyam paripura mide. That Supreme Lord who is the Supreme Transcendental Personality, he is Paresha, he is beyond all the personalities like Brahma. He is attainable only by Bhakti Yoga. He is supremely subtle, Sukshmam, Ati Duram. He is although very far from anything external. Any external efforts, any material gains cannot make one realize the Lord. Anantam Adyam Paripuramide. He is the unlimited original Supreme Lord. And then he says, "O my Lord, now I surrender unto you. Please remove the ignorance which I am in now. I do not," in this verse, now he surrenders. He says, "I do not want to live. जिजीविषेण हमिहामुया किम अंतर्बहिश्चावृतये भयोनया इच्छामि कालेन नयस्य विप्लवस् तस्यात्मलोकावर्णयस्य मोक्षम्." He says, I do not want to live anymore. By being freed from this crocodile, I do not want to live. What is the use of this elephant body, he says. This body is covered by ignorance internally and externally also. I do not want to live. I desire liberation. I desire liberation from this material world. I do not want to live. Chakravarti Thakur writes that Gajendra is saying, I do not desire to live now, because hearing all the prayers, Lord may think, okay, do you want to become free from the clutches of this crocodile? He says, no, I don't want to live now. Then what do you desire? He says, I desire freedom from this material existence. Then he says, oh my Lord, I don't know how to perform bhakti. I am in the body of an animal. I don't know how to perform bhakti. So therefore, I just offer my respects unto you. You are the Supreme Lord, you are the Supreme Creator, Annihilator. You know the everything of this universe. You are Supreme Transcendental Person. I offer my respects to that Supreme Lord. You are the Master of all the yoga. He says, a person who has burnt up all the material reactions, he can surrender unto you, O my Lord. Yoga Randhit Karmano in 27th verse, Shukdev, Gajendra is praying, Yoga Randhit Karmano. Who can attain you? Who has become free from all the sinful desires. He has burnt up all his karma. And he says, the obstacle which is there in this process of bhakti, what is that obstacle? If somebody is not able to control his senses, that is the obstacle in the path of bhakti. As Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Aparita Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhau Navidhiyate. Those who are too absorbed in sense gratification, they do not come close to Krishna. So now after hearing all these beautiful, beautiful prayers, Gajendra, he offered such wonderful prayers. Hearing all these prayers, none of the devatas, they came. Demigods like Brahma and Indra and all the other devatas, they were hearing all these prayers of Gajendra. Interestingly, Gajendra did not use any names whom he is calling. He did not take the names of any personality. He's just describing the attributes of that personality. And hearing all these prayers, all the devatas, they are there, in the sky, as we saw, as we discussed. All the devatas, they were also astonished seeing the fight. As Gajendra offered beautiful prayers, all the devatas, they understand that he's not offering prayers to us. On the contrary, they thought, he's calling us little incarnations, minor expansions. In one of the prayers, Gajendra told us in 22nd prayer, 22nd verse. Gajendra said, you are the Supreme Lord, and all the devatas, they are minor expansions. So all the devatas, they had this false identity that we are also controllers. When they heard Gajendra praying like this, they became offended that he is calling us minor expansions. Now let's see, we'll not go to save him. Now this elephant is going to die. And speaking like this, thinking like this, none of the devatas, they went. They were just observing what is happening. And then, when Gajendra, he saw that now there is no means for me to save my life. He offered wonderful, wonderful prayers. And then he was just waiting for the Lord to come and protect him. Lord Hari, who is son of Harimedha and Harini, he appeared. Hearing the prayers of Gajendra, he appeared, riding on the Garuda and carrying all the weapons, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma in his 4 hands, he appeared. It is interesting, Acharyas, they describe that as Gajendra is offering prayers, Lord Vishnu, he told Garuda, you fly faster. But Garuda, he was flying faster than the speed of mind. But still, Lord was thinking it is not enough speed. He was telling faster, you fly more fast. Garuda fainted. And then now Lord, he put Garuda on his back and he is running. As he's running, his lower garment starts becoming loose. So with one hand he's holding Garuda, other hand he's holding his dhoti and he's running. That shows how Lord is so very eager to protect his devotees. So as Gajendra offered beautiful prayers, Lord Hari appeared. And when Gajendra, he saw that Supreme Lord Hari has appeared. Although he was reeling in acute pain, he was in intense pain because of this attack of crocodile. He plucked a lotus flower, he picked a lotus flower and he offered to that Supreme Lord Hari who had appeared, praying that Narayana Akhil Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Now in this verse, first time Gajendra is calling Narayana. Narayana Akhil Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Prabhupada writes a wonderful purport here. He describes what is the consciousness of a devotee. A devotee, he always sees danger as mercy of the Lord. Tattenu kampasu samikshamano bhunjanu evatmakritam vipakam. He quotes this verse. Whenever problems come in life of a devotee, he is grateful. Although this is a very advanced consciousness, but actually we have to aspire for this consciousness. Oh my Lord, I am so very grateful to you. Whatever you have given me, it is so very less. I deserve much more. But out of your mercy, you have given me a tip of the iceberg. I am so very grateful to you. Gajendra, with the feelings of gratitude, he offered this lotus flower to the Supreme Lord. And then Lord Hari, now in the 33rd verse, it is described, Lord Hari quickly descended from Garuda. Chakravarti Thakur writes, Garuda was moving slow. So Lord Hari quickly descended from this Garuda and he pulled Gajendra out of the lake along with the crocodile. He caught hold of the trunk of Gajendra and he caught hold of Gajendra with his trunk and pulled him out along with the crocodile. All the devatas, they were watching what is happening. Lord ignored all of them. Lord did not care even a bit about all these devatas. And as he pulled crocodile out of this pond, he invoked Sudarshan. With his Sudarshan, he severed the head of this crocodile. And then, okay. So that is the end of this 3rd chapter. So thank you very much. So we'll stop here. So we'll continue tomorrow to see what happens next. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Anybody has any questions, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, yes, Mataji.
This Gajendra took Gajendra 1000 years to remember Lord Krishna.
Okay.
It
So,
took Gajendra 1000 years to remember Krishna, to help him
yes,
out.
yes, because so far he was in the body of animal and he was not remembering. In the difficult situations, many times we also try to use our own strength to come out of the problems, and we should do it. We should not trouble Krishna for small, small things. We should try our best. But if nothing is working out, then we can pray to the Supreme Lord, please protect me. Otherwise, physical pains, devotees do not trouble Krishna. I heard one beautiful story. I think I told here also. One time, Surdas, Tulsidas, he went to Vrindavan to do Govardhan Parikrama, you know, and he met Surdas there. And he told Surdas, can you please help me in doing Govardhan Parikrama? Surdas was blind, but he was still, because he was staying in Govardhan, he knew everything. He said, okay, I'll help you. So Tulsidas and Surdas, they both were, going on Parikrama. And then a mad elephant started coming, charging towards them. So seeing that ruckus which was produced, Surdas asked, what is happening? So this Tulsidas said that, there is a elephant which is coming at our side towards us. So Surdas said, okay, is there a tree nearby? He said, yes. Now just help me climb the tree. So Tulsidas, he was bewildered. He was thinking, what type of devotee you are? You don't have faith in the words of Lord? Don't you think Lord will protect you? Lord Krishna will protect you? He said, no, I don't have time for all this. Just help me to climb the tree. He said, okay. So Surdas, he was on the tree, and then Tulsidas, he was thinking, I will show him the power of Lord Ram. He sat there. He started chanting intensely, Ram, Ram, Ram. And for sure, mad elephant came. He became humble in front of Tulsidas, offered respects, and went back. And Surdas came down. And Tulsidas said, just you saw, you know, you don't have faith in the words of Lord Krishna? That Surdas said, look, I have faith in the words of Krishna. But why to trouble Krishna for just small, small things? If I can just climb the tree and it can solve the problem. Why to trouble Krishna for? So therefore, we should not trouble Krishna for small, small things. Just like Gajendra, he was also struggling for thousands of years, thousand years. Then he thought, now there is no use struggling. I have to take shelter. And then Sutta said second thing, that look, you chanted the name of Lord Ram. Lord Ram came, protected you. Still, you are out of pride. You have no pride. You are a great devotee. But out of humility, Surda said, I am not a great devotee. If Lord comes to protect me, I'll be proud. Just see, Lord came to protect me. So therefore, better to be humble. So the point is, when some problem comes in life, of course, we have to take all the endeavors to solve the problem. But if nothing is working out, if things are going out of our hand, for small, small things, what is the use of troubling Krishna? Oh, Krishna, I'm having headache, thoda help karo, So that is not a wonderful way. But actually, in the intense life situations, we have to take shelter of the Lord. We have to cry, we have to cry, we have to pray. Just like Uttara, she was also praying. When Ashwatthama he shot Brahmastra, Pahi Pahi Mahayogin Devadev Jagatpate, Nanyat Tadabhayam Pashri Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. She was also pure devotee. Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa, he threw that, he created the demon. Amrish was standing, not doing anything. He didn't even ask for protection. So both are pure devotees. So if somebody is praying for himself, that does not make him a contaminated devotee, a lesser devotee. That is the definition of anyabhilashita shunyam. There is a difference between anyabhilasha and anyabhilashita. Anyabhilashita means even if a devotee asks something for self-preservation, for the protection of the near and dear ones, that does not make him a lesser devotee. So that's why Gajendra, although he was a pure devotee from the past life, we'll discuss tomorrow who was he in the past life. And then by the will of the Lord, he remembered his past life.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Any other questions anybody has? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय